So now we're going to talk about slope. Think about slope for just a second. When you think of the word slope, what comes to mind? I'm guessing it's snow skiing. If you go skiing out in the mountains, okay, you'd see a slope. And if you think about slope and that, there's the bunny slope, and then the red diamonds and the black diamonds and all that other stuff. And what slope is actually looking about is the steepness. And for us, it's going to be the steepness of a line. Okay? And we're talking about lines in this entire unit because this unit is about linear equations. Now look at that, linear equations. Linear means line, so everything we graph is going to be a line. So what does slope mean? Well, slope is the amount of vertical change, meaning up and down, over, okay, so it's going to be a fraction, over the horizontal change of a line, okay? So it's vertical change over horizontal change. You will hear some people talk about rise over run. So rise over run is another way that people view it. Okay? So let's look at it. Let's see how we find it. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how steep this line is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put 2 fingers on a point. Now you know how to put, so on the 2 points. Okay? So here we go. We have these 2 points right here. Start at one point and count to the other. Now, does it matter if I start at the left or the right? No. And I'm going to prove that to you in just a second. So I'm going to start at the right. And I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I went up 7. Up is positive. Okay? So up, because look at this. If I'm on my axis, yeah, this is a positive 2, positive 3, positive 4. This is a negative 2. This is a negative 4. Okay? So up is positive, down is negative. Now I go here, and I have to get to this point. Okay, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I went 9 to the left. So think about that. If I'm going to the left, this is a negative 2, negative 4. If I go to the right, this is a positive 2, positive 4. Okay, so up is positive, and right is positive. So that means down is negative, left is negative. Okay? That is the slope of my line. Okay. So count up or down. That is the numerator, the top number. The numerator. Okay, that is the numerator. And then we counted left or right. That is the bottom number, or the denominator. Okay? Good. Let's find the slope of the next line. Here we go. Now, oh wait, no. I want to show you this right here. So here I started up and I went up and then to the left. Oh, I'm not right. Look. Woo. Look at that. Almost made a mistake. I bet you all caught that. And you're like, hey, she forgot to put the negative. Nice job. I know you all got it. So I went up, which was positive, but then I went to the left, so it's a negative 9. Now, this is right, but we don't usually leave the negative in the denominator, so we would write it as 7 over 9, or just put the negative out in front. So all 3 of these are the exact same answer. Okay, good. Woo! Almost made a mistake. Okay, but I want to show you this. So let's say this time I started at my right finger, I went up and to the left. What if I would have started here? What if I would have started to my left? Would it make a difference? Well, let's see. So that means I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 down. That'd be a negative 7 down. And then I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I went to the right 9. Bam! That's the same answer as these 3 over here. Okay, so it doesn't matter which finger you start at. Here we go, number 2. Okay, we're going to count. So I'm going to start at the left this time, and I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went up 4. I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my slope is 4/6. Write it in lowest terms, that's 2/3. Okay, so let's go. If I would have started here, I would have gone 1, 2, 3, 4 down. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the left. So -4 over -6 is still positive because two negatives, when divided, make a positive. So I would have still had a positive 2/3. Okay, so it doesn't matter which finger. Okay, pause yours. Try number 3. Go. Did you get a -4/5? Yay. Okay, do the next one. Go. Did you get a -1/4? Okay, so let's just stop for a second and look at this. Look at the way this one goes. See how this one goes over this way, this one goes over this way, this one goes over this way. And look at their slopes. They're all negative, right? All three of these going in this direction, meaning upper left. Okay, now look at this one. It's going up to the right, and it's positive. Huh. We'll do more. We'll do a couple more and see if that holds true, okay? Because it's looking like if it points over this way, it's going to be a negative slope. Goes this way, it's going to be a positive slope. Let's see. Okay, now look down here at number 5. They did not give us the exact point. So what we have to do is there's points. These are all points. Okay? These are all points right here. But what we did is we found a whole number of points when we did these. And what I mean by a whole number point, well, look at this one right here. See how it doesn't go exactly through the crosshairs? So this is a whole number point. Not on that line, but that is a point. This is also a point, but it's not a whole number. Okay, so this is a whole number point. This is not a whole number point. So we need to find a whole number point because it makes it easier. So there, found a whole number point there. Ooh, that looks like, is that a whole number point there too? And there? Do you see that? See how the line goes right through where one of these bars are? See those bars? And when it goes through that, that's a whole number point. Okay? So we're going to go, so now let's take 2 points. We're going to go up 2 and to the right 1. So my slope is 2 over 1 or just 2. Okay? So, okay, that goes along with the theory I was talking about before. Look at this. Anything pointing off this direction looks like it has a positive slope. Anything pointing off this direction has a negative slope. Okay, so let's stop for just a second. So what we just discovered, if it points off in this direction, so if I have a line that goes over here, up here, this has a positive slope. Here's how I remember it. That first quadrant, see how it's positive numbers by positive numbers? So if something points up to that upper right, it's going to have a positive slope. Whereas the other one, if it's pointing off in this direction, okay, notice what happens every time. It's going to be a negative slope. Kind of crammed that in there, didn't I? Sorry about that. Didn't leave a lot of room for that. But it's going to go over this direction. And how I remember it, I know the first quadrant is going to be positive. Both of them are positive. Whereas this one, I have a negative and a positive. So that's kind of how I remember it. This one's going to be positive. That one's going to be negative. Okay. Looking at number 6. Okay, let's pick 2 points. Okay, what 2 points? Well, here's a whole number point. Here's a whole number point. Okay, let's use those 2 whole number points. Ready? Okay, how much up and down? Exactly, 0. How much left and right? Well, this one is 1, 2, 3. But could I have picked this one? Yeah, I would have 0 over 5. Anything, 0 divided by anything is equal to 0. Okay? Hey, while we're here, let's do another line. Let's pretend we have this line. We're going to add a line in. Add this line right in here. That's a vertical line. We're going to use this point right here and this point right there. Are you ready? Okay, so I'm going to come over here and do this. This line is over here. This line is over here. Okay, so here we go. Put my finger on the 2 points. How much up and down? 1, 2, 3. So I went down 3. How much did I go? 0. When I have 0 in the denominator, what happens? You might not know. Well, we can't divide by 0. How do you break something up? How do you have like 5 items divide by 0? Well, you're not dividing. So how does that work? This is what's called undefined. Wow, I have a lot of notes I want to put in there. Okay, so I'm going to take some space and give you some more notes, because there's a really helpful way to remember this. So I'm just going to take a piece of paper and find a blank space. So I want to kind of summarize what we've just done. We had 0 over 5 was equal to 0. And we had 3 over 0, not equal to, it's just undefined, is undefined. Okay? So anytime you divide by 0, it's undefined. This was a vertical line. Now, I'm going to tell you this first. How do I remember which is which? One of my students a couple years ago showed this to me, and they said, hey, if I have, so let's say that k is just any number, any number. If I have 0 over k, meaning a number, any number, well, that is okay. So that's equal to 0, because it's 0 over k. So that one's okay, so it's equal to 0. But look at this one. I have k over 0. So that's KO. KO, yeah, that's a boxing term. That's a knockout. And what happens when somebody's knocked out? They're unconscious. Unconscious. I think I spelled that wrong. We'll look that up. Unconscious? Okay. Pause. I gotta find out. Well, yay. Siri told me I had it spelled right. Good. So, back to it. So, KO is knockout, which is unconscious. And remember what we say. It is it. Okay? We just say is undefined. So, this one is undefined. So, how I remember it is this is okay, because 0 over number is okay. K over 0 is undefined. And how you remember it is think of a KO, a knockout in boxing. Not that I'm promoting boxing, I actually don't like boxing. Anyway, okay. Now the other thing I want you to realize is, remember when we had 3 over 0, it was a vertical line. Okay, so here's what you need to realize. This is undefined, so vertical line is undefined. Vertical line is undefined. Vertical line is undefined. Get that in your head. Vertical line is undefined. Vertical line is undefined. Now you're going, well, what about this one? Well, if a vertical line is undefined, then the horizontal line is 0. The slope is 0. So this is vertical line is undefined. The slope is undefined. Okay, so that might help you some. Vertical line is undefined. Okay, back to what we were doing. Okay, so back to what we were doing. Let's find slope using a line. So again, we need to mark it. Okay, we need to mark where that would be. Here's a whole number point. Do you see that one? See how this one is a point, but it's not a whole number point. Can you see that? Let's look for another whole. Oh, there's another one. There's another one. That might be 1, 2, but we already have 3 and we only need 2. So here we go. So I'm going to go down 1, and 1, 2, 3 to the left. So down 1, negative over negative is a positive, so my slope for this one is 1/3. Okay, slope here is 2, and I hope I made that clear. So that's how I find slope given a graph. So, we're not always going to have a graph, and you can see that would kind of be inconvenient. So what we're going to do is we're going to find slope given 2 points. And I want to look back at slope for just a second on counting. Notice we always go up and down first. That's our top number. Up and down is our top number. Left and right is our bottom number. Okay, so it's going to be change in y. So change in y over change in x. Change in y over change in x. So change in y over change in x. Change. So if I would ask you, if I would say, okay, I have a $10 bill. I'm going to buy something that costs $8. How much change do I get? What did you just do? You told me 8. Okay, now mathematically what did you do? Yeah, you subtracted. So this means that what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract y over subtract x. Yes? Okay. Now, look back again. One more thing I want to show you. is if I had these right here, I have these 2 points. I start at one of them. Doesn't matter which one I start at, right? But if I start at this one, I have to go down, and then I have to keep going. I can't go down and then go this direction. I have to go from the point to the other point, right? So I had to go down, and then I had to go over that way. I didn't go down and then meet it. So that's the reason we're going to see that it matters, and we're going to have to do it in a certain order. Now, there is a formula for this, but I want your brain to go through it without the formula first. Okay, so we're going to come back to that. So we're going to subtract. So here's our first example, 4, -7, and -2, 9. Okay, so we're going to subtract. We have to subtract y. So this is a y, and this is a y. We're going to subtract. Which one do you want to start with, -7 or 9? Okay, 9. 9 minus -7. Now here's the thing. I started with the 9, so don't I have to start with the -2? Because I have to go that same direction, so I have to go -2 minus 4. So I subtract y over subtract x. I take 9 minus -7, -2 minus 4. So I get 16 over -6, which is equal to -8 over 3. Yes? Okay, now hold that thought for just a second. What if I would have started with the 7, the -7? So I would have gone -7 minus 9, because it has to be, y has to be on top. Okay, because I go up and down first. So if I started with the -7, I need to start with the 4, subtract -2. So now, I always cross the line and change the sign because I mess up on negatives. I still get the same thing. Just like when we were counting over here. It doesn't matter which number I start with. Okay, which finger I start with. Same thing here. It doesn't matter which one I start with, but I do have to have y on top and x on the bottom. And notice the other thing. This has to be the same ordered pair. This has to be the same ordered pair. Now, if I'm talking about those, if I were to look at these points again, I would call this x and this y. But let's say that this is point 1. So this is point 1. So this would be x sub 1, y sub 1. And this would be x sub 2, y sub 2. Okay? So all this little subscript means is that it names it. It just says, oh, you're from the family of ones. So this is like, I could have x sub fips. And I could have y sub fips. And they're in the same family. So all that subscript does is it names it. It's a boring name, 1, and a boring name of 2, but it does it. And so that's what the formula is using. Now the formula, if we go official, slope is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So they did what we were talking about. They subtracted y over subtract x, did that. These have to be the same order pair. These have to be the same order pair. Okay, so if that's true, couldn't I also go y sub 1 minus y sub 2 over x sub 1 minus x sub 2? Yes, I could. Whoops, that needs to be a subscript. Okay, so this is what people would say is the official formula. They do the same thing, so it doesn't matter. Personally, I just like to go subtract y over subtract x and make sure I have my ordered pairs lined up. There's 3 steps. Y has to be on top, x on the bottom. I have to subtract, and my ordered pairs have to be lined up. That's all there is to it. Start with whichever one you darn well please. If you want to memorize this formula, fine. Don't have to do it for me. I want you to know how to find slope. You do the best you can. So here we go. And personally, I'd usually see this one first, so I put this one down first. So if I were choosing this, I would go 7 minus 5, because I have to take y minus y. Well, since I chose 7, I have to choose 3. So I have 2 over 5. That's my slope. Okay? Got it? Ready to try another one? Want to try this one? Pause yours. Pause it. Pause it. So, you either took -5 minus -8 over -4 minus 1, because this is the same order pair, Or you did -8 minus -5 over 1 minus -4. Both are right. It doesn't matter. Okay, and we're going to get the same answer no matter which one we do it, as long as we do it correctly. Okay, so we get 3 over -5, so that's a -3/5. And here I get a negative 3 over a positive 5, so a negative 3/5. Is one better than the other? No. No, one is not better than the other. Now, if you're a person like I used to be, I'm really good at memorizing, so I would memorize the formula, and that helps me. Do whatever works for you, okay? This is the formula. This will be referred to at some time, and you do need to be aware of it, so I'll let you decide. Okay, let's try 3 and 4, go. Okay, did you get negative 6 over 13 and negative 6 over 5? Awesome. Okay, so you might have done it this way. Notice I crossed the line and changed the sign. If you did it the other way, it would have been 2 minus negative 4 over negative 8 minus 5. And here, and I was just switching up to do different things. Here, if you did it the other way, it would have been negative 2 minus negative 8 over negative 6 minus negative 1. Okay, either way, you would have come up with negative 6/13 and negative 6/5. Okay, look at number 5. Here we go. 7 minus 7 over 5 minus negative 8. What's 7 minus 7? 0. 5 minus negative 8. Cross the line, change the sign. But does it matter? That's the nice thing on this one. And what's 0 over 13? Is this okay? Yeah, it is. 0 is okay. 0 on the top, so that's equal to 0. 0 on the top is okay, so it's 0. Okay, number 6, here we go. 5 minus 9 over negative 3 minus negative 3. We get negative 4 over, oops, sorry, I didn't cross the line and change the sign in a different color, over 0. Oh, we have 0 in the denominator. Is this okay? No, this is unconscious. So this is undefined. We don't put an equal sign because it's not equal to undefined. That doesn't make any sense. It is just undefined. So watch for that. Okay, let's see your homework. Find the line of the slope given a graph. These should all have arrowheads on it. Hopefully I corrected them on your paper. These should all have arrowheads on them. Okay, for the lines. Good. And then find the slope of the line through each pair of points. Okay. Good. That's your homework. If you have questions, ask, please. Thank you very much. Wasn't that fun? I love slope.